Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and father, Craig, and happy day after Valentine's Day, so we, of course, had to pick a romantic flick, Jason X.
Ah. Yes. That romantic flick.
They call it a chick flick for a reason.
Yes.
No. This is episode 4 in a row of 4 in a row, where we're reviewing awful sequels that pretty much almost ruined a franchise. So, want to recap what the other 3 were?
The other 3, we started with
Seed of Chucky.
Seed of Chucky, then we did Leprechaun in the Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Last week we did Book of Shadows,
Blair
Witch 2.
And now
This time we're doing Jason 10.
Jason X, which was put out quickly because
Right before
they were still working on filming Freddy vs. Jason, and this was something that they decided to do with the Jason character, but they didn't know who was going to win in Jason or Freddy vs. Jason. So what did they do? They put this into the future, basically spoiling that Jason won. Except if you watch that movie, did he? Right. Oh, but to be fair, like every other Jason movie, even if he lost, he was coming back.
So
Right. So
yeah, that makes sense.
anyway, the basic plot is Jason goes into, chases a woman into a cryogenic freezing chamber. She stops him by, trying to freeze him, but...
Well, how did he get there, Dad? The military was holding him.
Well, yeah.
To, I think, try using him as a weapon, but not
They didn't really say.
Right.
It was some military conspiracy.
And
That's a thing.
Right. Whatever. And then he got frozen because he killed the lady.
Well, let's not get into the details of who and when he kills people yet, but basically, then he gets frozen, wakes up in outer space, really pissed off.
Yeah, because he didn't consent
But people
to
are
being in space.
People are in space because Earth is uninhabitable. This is like Wall-E meets Jason. Basically,
Except all the people aren't fat.
they're not fat, which is good because it helps them try to run from him, but they're also in an enclosed space in the spaceship. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
If they left, they'd probably die to space.
being able to run only helps so much. That's like, stealing someone's purse on a bus while it's moving and trying to make a run for it.
Not a good idea.
Right.
Don't do that.
Anyway, so before we get into the behind the scenes information, let's have you watch
Roll
the trailer.
that trailer, Colin.
In the year 2455, on a routine training mission, a team of students is about to discover a life form frozen in time.
They're on their way back. Prepare for docking and power up the lab.
You brought him on board?
Everything's under control, ma'am.
What the hell is going going on?
Jason Voorhees, that's what's going on. He's an unstoppable killing machine.
Guys, it's okay. He just wanted his machete back.
How do we get off the ship?
I don't know.
Look, we're gonna be all right.
What, are you high?
Uh-oh.
He's here. You have got to get them out of there.
Hey, Slappy.
I think we're finally okay.
What the hell is that? You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, wow.
He's been modified. Oh, you think? You guys might want to run.
Okay.
Wow, that
Doesn't that
give
look-
away anything.
Doesn't that look like something you should all watch?
It's a masterpiece.
Anyway,
That's why it's on our list of terrible sequels.
before we get into the behind the scenes stuff, we have to give a shout out to our real sponsors. These are actual things you can buy, use, watch, touch, taste, whatever, that pay us our fat stacks of cash for doing this show every week. Sadly, we haven't got the same company to come back, so it's fat stacks of cash once from each of these people, or places, or things, or stuff.
Oh yeah,
Well, things and stuff are pretty much
things and stuff. It's like meat and beef.
something like that. But anyway, this week, Gory Story Time is brought to you by Harry's House of Hockey Masks. Harry's got a giant warehouse of hockey masks he's selling to you at a fraction of retail price. Hundreds of brands to choose from. At Harry's, he has a hockey mask to fit your needs. Are you looking for skates? How about pads or helmets? Then you're in the wrong place because, there is always Bob's Skate Emporium, but we sell hockey masks. Come on by and cover your face today.
And by the newest dating app, Teacher. That's Teachr, like Tinder but for teachers. Anyone can get passing grades with Teacher. Are you failing history? Maybe finding an old bone from Jurassic Park.
No, the
Jurassic period can help you pass. Does you plus your math professor equals 69? Then you pass math. If you like it in the A, you can earn an A with Teacher. Is your Spanish teacher hot, but the only thing you understand is Mama La Chocha? Chocha? Then eat your way to victory. Search by school and subject and see if you can get laid for a grade today with Tinder.
No,
Teacher. Teacher. With Tinder.
Don't do that.
Yeah, Tinder's fake. I don't know what that is. Teacher's real.
Anyway, let's get into
the meat and beef of the show.
Yes.
This is the only film suffered. The film only suffered a couple seconds of cuts, alterations to earn R rating, making it the least censored entry in the entire Friday the 13th series.
Jason Voorhees' eyes never blink when they are shown.
Oh, spooky. The first film in the Friday the 13th series to rely on digital effects for death and gore shots.
At around an hour and 21 minutes, the music played during Jason's first look at the virtual reality camp Crystal Lake is the same musical score from the one in Friday the 13th Part 2.
Nice. Betsy Palmer was doing a play in Toronto at the same time Jason X was filming. According to Palmer, one of the producers contacted her about possibly reprising her role as Pamela Voorhees. They did not come to an agreement, and the character was not included in the movie.
Because Jim Isaac wanted the acting in his film to blow every other Friday movie out of the water, the associate producer videotaped the rehearsals on a camcorder for Isaac, who would view them afterward to get ideas from seeing his characters in action. The problem was, with all the script rewrites, a lot of the time Isaac didn't even know if the actors were rehearsing if what the actors were rehearsing was still going to even be in the movie. Most of it wasn't.
Wow. Screenwriter Todd Farmer based much of the film on Alien, even naming one of the characters, whom he also played, Dallas, after Tom Skerritt's character in the Ridley Scott film.
And might I say, what a horrible homage to a great movie. Once again, just like with Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, New Line Cinema was unable to legally include Friday the 13th in the film's title, as Paramount Pictures still owned the trademark title, but they had bought the rights to the character. But when they did the reboot, it was New Line and Paramount working together. That's why it was just called Friday the 13th.
And then they did the mistakable thing of giving the rights over to Michael Bay to make a movie.
That was the one.
That was the one.
Anyway, so my next one was...
I did not say another one yet.
Yep, you're right.
While many people believe this was a financial failure, it made more than triple the cost of the production in DVD and post-theater sales. Statistically, it is one of the most successful Friday the 13th films.
Around 39 minutes in, Brodsky mentioned a gun while the soldiers were suiting up called the BFG. This sci-fi gun is well known to players of the PC games Dune and Quake 2. Doom, that's what I meant.
Right.
That is what I meant, but that isn't what I said. And Quake 2, the most powerful weapon. BFG is the acronym for Bioforce Gun, or Big Fucking Gun, as some called it.
Makes sense. In the scene where Stoney opens the door and gets stabbed and his blood sprays in Kintz's face, she screams according to the audio commentary. The effects guys weren't supposed to spray the blood liquid into her face. She was screaming not because she just saw her boyfriend die, but because the blood substance was burning her eyes. Wow. That's terrible.
Lexa Doig, who played Rowan, and Lisa Ryder, KM, had to be released from Jason X by a certain date to start on Andromeda. Okay.
I don't know what that is. Neither the casting director nor the director initially wanted to do the virtual reality scene. Cook was so adamant the scene was nothing but gratuitous nudity that she refused to cast the roles of the two topless girls, relegating those duties to her casting assistant. Isaac agreed that it was clearly just nudity for nudity's sake, and the only way he could personally justify it is if they had fun with it and made it really silly.
It's a Jason movie. There are many, many nude scenes.
In all of the other movies.
Only for the sake of nudity.
Yeah.
So it took 10 of them for someone to go, that
That's a
seems
little messed
unnecessary.
up. Yeah.
Anyway, one of the things that won over everyone to the concept of Jason in space was the idea of the crew seemingly killing Jason halfway through, only for him to be recreated into something even scarier with futuristic technology. The mechanism of this change ended up being nanotechnology.
Yeah, that happened. In Andromeda, Lexa Doig played the avatar of the ship's artificial intelligence, and Lisa Ryder played a crew member. In this movie, Ryder is an AI construct, and Doig joins the crew.
Okay, several of the characters in the film are named after screenwriter Todd Farmer's online friends in the PC game EverQuest.
The film takes place in 2010 and 2455.
It had 4 different U.S. release dates before it was finally released.
The character Adrian is a reference to Adrian King, who played Alice Hardy in Friday the 13th and Friday the 13th Part 2.
The Grendel spaceship is named after and is a nod to the monster from the poem Beowulf, in which the Grendel was fought and defeated by warrior Beowulf.
Makes sense. This was Kane Hodder's final appearance as Jason. Ken Kersinger assumed the role for Freddy vs. Jason, and Derek Mears took the role for the reboot Friday the 13th.
And Caden Hodder should have done Freddy vs. Jason because he pushed so hard to get that movie made and then wasn't even in
it. That's messed up.
Anyway, at around 15 minutes in, space debris floating around space has Cunningham Realty written on the side. This is a reference to the name of producer Noel Cunningham, the son of executive producer and maker of the original Friday the 13th, Sean S. Cunningham. All right, let's get into it. What was your favorite thing about this POS?
Well, I really did like the idea of Jason getting put in space because I thought that'd be cool. Kind of the idea of, I don't know, somebody who's unkillable being stuck on a ship with a bunch of people who are not unkillable.
So, Alien, which has already been done way better.
Except they could kill that creature.
And
Sure, there's a species of them, so they can.
in every movie, they end up killing him and stopping him and getting away. Someone does. So,
And then he comes back because he's
And-
unkillable.
Okay, and there were many more aliens to follow, so... Well, it wasn't like there was just... In this, he keeps coming back. In the other one, there's just more aliens. So either way, you've got a lot more to deal with eventually.
Whatever.
Whatever.
I don't know. I like Jason movies, so I like the idea.
Favorite part of this movie was the first real killing scene right before he gets frozen. The idea that this woman tried to get him frozen and freeze herself kind of too. And
Yeah.
he stabs through the
Cryogenic
chamber.
chamber
And it was the most Jason kill in the
this
movie.
Yes.
And I liked that because it seemed like that's the one kill that would happen the way it happened on screen in any Jason movie. You know what I mean? It was the most Jason
the next
murder.
kill was also really cool with the.
I'm not saying
nitro.
the others weren't cool. I'm saying this was the most Jason-like murder.
I get that. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, what was your least favorite part?
My
about
least
this film?
favorite scene, you claim doesn't exist,
And
but I remember very
I didn't
specifically.
say it, just
There was this creepy teacher professor guy who this girl had just barely failed the test or whatever that she had to take, and she wanted to prove to him that she could pass the class, so she yanked on his nipples with some tongs, and it was really creepy, and I did not like that.
okay.
Yeah.
My least favorite part had to do with the nanotechnology that brought him back better,
Yeah.
scarier.
Stronger?
It's supposed to basically bring you back exactly the way you were, except now all of a sudden he's got this weird Skeletor-like bone armor and a metal mask that's part of his face.
And then he took that medical thing that was
It
supposed
just-
to be a machete, and it was also really dumb.
Yeah, like
Because it was shaped wrong. It's not a
He was
machete,
just
and
like-
he's supposed to have a
they were
machete.
like, what if Jason
was
was part Shredder and part Skeletor from He-Man, and what it turned into was a pile of crap.
Yeah, this
They're like,
happened.
and of course, it has to be in space with a similar plot line to Alien.
Yeah.
I will say this though, it's still better than Leprechaun in space.
Which will eventually probably do more terrible sequels.
Yes, just we've done 4. We're gonna jump back into some good ones. Maybe next week. There's one that we saw in the theater recently that we should
Yeah,
probably review.
I want to do that one.
Plus upcoming, I think today is the release date for Happy Death Day.
Wednesday.
Oh, is it Wednesday? Whatever.
Yep, and they're already fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
All right. Well,
Speaking of
so
Rotten Tomatoes,
that may be coming soon. Yes. The people have this movie at 24%.
and an even more surprisingly high number is a 19% from the critics.
I mean, normally I'd point out that the critics are just harder on horror movies, but this one kind of deserved it.
Yeah, because what was it? They made it silly. That's what it was.
Because when I think of Jason Voorhees chasing me in a hockey mask with a machete, I think laughter. Freddy's always had a sense of humor, and
But even then,
But
if he was
my-
actually chasing you in actual real life, you're gonna be dead.
yeah, you're not going to laugh at his jokes. You have to be just watching him murder others for them to be funny.
Right. That makes sense and not twisted at all.
Anyway,
Uh,
why don't you spit out the stuff? over there on that side of the screen.
Yeah, you could watch this show on Channel 8, Fact TV, Channel 8. You could watch us Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
Also, you can hit us up at gorystorytime@yahoo.com. Questions, comments, suggestions for movies, any of that goodness, please hit us up.
Yeah. You could follow us on Facebook. You can like our page, Gory Storytime on Facebook.
And if you're not watching this live and you're watching it on Channel 8, then you should also hit like on Fact TV's page on Facebook. Also, we each have Twitter, which we do not use to promote this in any way, because eventually, I'm assuming with the way things are going, things I do and say on Twitter are going to get me banned. And if that's the case,
Whatever. Just use another username and use another...
Yeah, but my username
thing.
is my name. Craig Jakes, all lowercase, all one word.
And mine is Jason T. Jakes, capital J, capital T, capital J.
And that's pretty much it for this week, right?
Yeah. So until next time, we're your hosts. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and father, Craig.
And sweet dreams.